Good morning, children, and a warm welcome to the English class. Well, children, remember your last lesson, Unit 8. Okay, I want you to remember or recall what was the main feature of that lesson. What was Unit 8, children? What was that lesson about? The English patient, yes. So, what was it about? What was the main feature? What was the main feature of that desert? That lesson was about desert, correct? So, what was the main feature about that desert? Any answer? Any thoughts? Yes, the main feature of that desert was sand. Okay, so the main feature of that desert was sand. The English patient. Remember? If you can't, children, just move to this hostile desert and then you will recall what you have done. Okay. Now, children, today we move to Unit 9. That's desert landscapes. Now, children, look at this. At first, look at your text. Okay, we have two pieces of writing. One is the deserts of the world and the other is desert rock formation. Okay. Now, children, look at the first title, deserts of the world, and quickly you can skim and scan. Skimming and scanning is that quickly you move your eyes around the text. You are not actually reading, but you can just have a glance and tell me. I want you to investigate the style of writing of the author. What's the different style the author has used? Any idea? Children, you remember last year we had done this lesson. This is grade 4. Remember this lesson, children? Looking at the sky and solar eclipse, and we had even done this, the writing part. So now can you recall? Yes, that was a non-fiction text, children. Okay, so one was which was giving us information and the other was an explanation. If you look here, children, see this, the two topics, deserts of the world and desert rock formation. So one is information and the other is explanation. Okay. Deserts rock formation is an explanatory piece because it's showing us the stages. So let's start with, children, first the deserts of the world. Desert landscapes. Read the information about desert landscape taken from two different books. Children, these are extracts. You know what is extract, no? Extract is a small piece of writing. So, deserts of the world. A desert in any area of the world that has less than 250 mm of rainfall annually. Annually, children, is in bold. So, what we should do? Yes, go to the glossary. Annually is each year. This means deserts can be found in hot and cold regions of the world. Children, see, hot and cold. Okay, as I told you, children, this lesson you have to recall your SST. Things will be simple. Subtropical deserts. The Sahara is the largest subtropical. Children, what is the meaning of subtropical? Yes, see the glossary over there, children. It's there in the glossary. What is given? Subtropical. Found in between the tropics, an area surrounding the equator. Children, as I told you, you need to recall your SST, what you have done. That's the meaning of subtropical. So, children, subtropical is, it's given here in bold. Subtropical is bordering on the tropics. The areas that have this type of subtropical climate, they include Australia, Southeast Asia and parts of South America. Now children, what are tropics, you may ask? Just recall your SST. Tropics are, children, they are regions of the earth that lie roughly in the middle of the globe. Like you have the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, right? So it's that. As I told you children, this lesson is based mostly on your SST, physical geography. Okay. It covers most of the northeastern Africa. It can take up to a week to cross it by truck and more than 40 days on foot. So children, where is Sahara Desert? Where is the Sahara Desert? Northeastern Africa. Okay. Now let's move further. Sorry. Coastal deserts. Children, see the word itself over here. Coastal deserts. Okay. That will give you the answer. Coastal means, okay, seaside, water. These deserts are found near coast. They are not as hot as tropical deserts, but conditions are still very harsh. Children, conditions. What is the meaning of conditions? Children, come on, open your dictionaries quickly. Conditions means, yes, the environment. Children, please read the word, okay, or the phrase where it appears so that then you can interpret it in the same context. You need to read it again and again. Are still very harsh. Children, see the word harsh. Come on, pause and open your dictionaries quickly. Harsh. Yes. Harsh is what? Harsh is difficult. Okay. The Atacama Desert is a coastal desert found in South America. It is the third driest desert on earth. Now children, what type of desert is the Atacama Desert? It is a what desert? Coastal desert. Deserts, okay, coastal deserts. Now, we move to the next one, polar deserts. Now children, the word itself, you must be thinking, how does this polar desert classify as a desert? Or what makes a polar desert? Where are the polar deserts? All these questions can come to your mind, children. Okay? Because as you see here, the photo, it shows that it is covered with ice sheets. So you may wonder why and how does it classify as deserts? Children, you can always research. Okay? And I think it's there in your SST book. So you may open your SST book or you can research. It will be useful if you research in your writing. And it's also given over here, children. If you see the first line over here, means deserts can be found in hot and cold regions of the world. It's very clearly mentioned over here. Okay. So, polar deserts. Like all other deserts, polar deserts have a rainfall of less than 250 mm per year. But temperatures during the warmest months of the year are less than 10 degrees C. Children, see this. But temperatures along the warmest month of the year are less than 10 degrees C. So what is the temperature in polar deserts during the warmest month of the year, children? It is below, okay, below 10 degrees C. There are only two polar deserts on earth today. One is the Arctic and the other is the Antarctica. So children, there are only two polar deserts on earth today, the Arctic and the Antarctic. So children, we have finished with the deserts of the world. What writing was that, children? It was information. Now we are moving to the next part of the text. That's desert rock formation. What's this, children? This is an explanatory piece of writing. Okay, why it is an explanatory piece of writing? Because you see the stages. As I told you children last year, the solar eclipse. Okay, so desert rock formation. A rock formation in desert regions can begin life as a plateau and end life as a pinnacle. Oh my. Children, first see the word formation. It's in bold. Okay, so you move here. Formation. Rock that is formed in a certain way. Children, you have learned the different types of rocks. Okay, sedimentary rocks and all. So how they are formed. Now what's a plateau? Land which is raised above the land around it. That's the meaning of a plateau. What's the meaning of pinnacle? Pointed piece of rock that is higher than the rock around it. Okay. So as I told you children, this lesson is your SST. You need to recall. You can sit with your SST book also, or you could search and research for it. Okay. Let's start with a plateau. A plateau is a large expanse of land which is raised above its surroundings. It has a flat top and at least one steep side. Now children, large expanse. This also children phrase was there in that lesson, the sky. Okay. So what's a large expanse children? Something which covers a very big area. That's the meaning of large expanse. Which is raised above its surroundings. Children, surroundings here. Okay. So what's this word? It's not in bold. So what would the meaning of this be? This is there in your word check. Please open your dictionaries. Yes, surroundings is places very near. It has a flat top and at least one steep side. Children, you can look at this photo here, or you could even, as I said, you need to research. So you could see it on the net. There are very clear pictures. So one side is steep. Okay. What is the meaning of steep, children? Come on, I'm not going to help you with this word. Open your dictionaries and find a meaning. You may pause the video, children, and find a meaning of steep. Okay. Now, plateaus become smaller when the areas of weak rock are eroded by wind and water. Some of the weak rocks fall away and a mesa is formed. Children, eroded. Eroded is what? Yes? Eroded means it gradually, there's a gradual destroy or which changes. There is a change. Like children, you have rocks, no? Because of wind, water, these are all natural elements. So they gradually, they start wearing away. You see that even if you see soil, because of nature, that is because of wind and water, you will see these wearing away. Soil, land, rock. Like the sentence would be a cliff. You know what's a cliff, right? So we could say it was eroded by the sea, or the rocks were eroded away. So that is where they gradually change, or it is destroyed. That's the meaning of eroded. A mesa is smaller than a plateau. It has flat steps and steep sides. Children, this is the picture of mesa. The word mesa comes from Spanish meaning table. Okay, so it comes from the Spanish word table. Children, please pause and read this too, plateau and mesa. Okay, is a plateau higher or lower, children, than its surrounding? Is it higher or lower than its surrounding? Plateau is higher. Yes, very good. And what does the mesa mean? What does it mean? Table. Can you see, children? It means a table, the Spanish word table. Children, do you think this description, table, mesa, is it the right description what the author has used? Think. When you think of table, what do we think, children? Something flat. Correct? So I think it's the right description. Okay. Now let's move to the next step. Further erosion causes the mesa to shrink and a butte is formed. So it starts eroding, children. It's not one day, it's a process which goes on and on for years and years. Now mesa, we know what is explained here. Shrink. What is the meaning of shrink, children? Grow smaller. Cloth. Okay. You know, some clothes, they shrink. So it becomes shorter. Or you can say here it becomes smaller. In this lesson, it means to become smaller. And a butte is formed. Now children, what's a butte? A butte is smaller than a mesa. So butte is smaller. So mesa is big. Butte is smaller. See the picture over here, children. It is tall, flat top, steep-sided tower of a rock. Okay. Now the next one is butte. Now what's a butte? They have already explained here. Now they are telling us how it is formed. A butte is eroded in the same way as a plateau. Children, they have told us form and now they are talking about erosion. Okay. A butte is eroded in the same way as a plateau and a mesa. What remains is called a pinnacle. Okay. So now they are talking of the process of erosion over here. As I said, erosion is, what is erosion, children? Gradually destroy or a change. So when the butte is eroded, what's happening here? It forms a pinnacle. Now what's a pinnacle, children? Pointed piece of rock that is higher than the rock around it. Children, find the meaning of pinnacle in your dictionary. You may pause and you may find the meaning. Okay, a pinnacle is like a finger of rock sticking up from the desert floor. A pinnacle is taller than it is wide. Then it is wide. Okay, a pinnacle is taller than it is wide. Okay. So children, which is wider, a butte or a pinnacle? Read. Yes, a butte is wider than a pinnacle. Is a mesa, children, look here. Is the mesa wider or narrower than a plateau? Read. Yes, mesa is narrower than a plateau.